I hope you had an amazing holiday season. I cannot even believe that we are already well on our way into 2018. And I will say that as much as I enjoyed the time off to connect with friends and family, I am really actually very excited to be returning back to quote unquote work. I guess we'll call it work, because I've got some really big dreams and great ideas and things that I want to bring into the world in 2018. And I'm so excited that you're going to be joining me along for this ride. So thanks again for joining me for a brand new episode of Turn Up the Love Live. If this is your first time catching the weekly show, or if you're new to hanging out with me, then you're in for a treat. So just to introduce who I am, I'm Sarah Pettis. I am a body positive intuitive eating coach and the founder of turnupthelove.ca. And I help serial dieters to stop obsessing with calorie counting, having all these self-critical bashing body beliefs, and just getting rid of these cycles of binging and restriction. And I help to teach them how to trust food and their bodies again. And during this time of the new year, new me, diet talk being bombarded on every social media feed, cleansing this and detoxing that, I know that January marks no greater time to show up to do this work. I know that this is when coaches like me or guides like me are very needed in the world, because the diet culture wants to take over in January. Because let's be honest, January is National Dieting Month. Everybody's starting a new diet come January, right? And this is the month where weight loss and changing ourselves, that pressure to change ourselves, plays this heavy pull on our heartstrings, right? But today, I'm actually not here to encourage you to do any self-improvement at all. I'm not even here to tell you what to do. I'm literally just here to call all of the BS out for what it is. That's why I'm here. I'm here to call the BS out for what it is. And it is my hope that if you are someone who is currently deep in the mud of dieting, right? Or your motivation for getting healthy is purely because of weight loss, or you're someone who knows that you are so incredibly done with dieting, but you literally just have no idea what the heck to do next, then I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're here because I'm hoping that if you watch this today, you're going to start to think of your journey in a whole new light. That is my hope and my goal, is that you can start to see this journey in a whole new light. Okay, because today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should start a diet, or, my personal favorite, finally make peace with food. Okay, so would you rather start a diet or finally make peace with food? That's the question I'm going to be asking a lot of today. But before I ask that question, before you give me the response to that question, I'm also going to be chatting about today how to completely boycott the New Year's dieting and self-improvement shenanigans, because it is plastered everywhere right now. Everywhere. And I don't want that to get you down. Okay? I'm also going to be getting into why choosing not to diet is actually not the same as letting yourself go. Even though a lot of people tend to think that way. Well, if I'm not dieting and I'm not working on improving myself, then I'm just letting myself go. I'm definitely here to say that is not true at all. Okay? I'm also going to be getting into what it actually looks like to hit diet rock bottom. What that looks like and how you can actually begin to move forward towards food freedom instead. Okay? So to get things rolling here, why don't you guys start off by telling me, would you rather start a new diet, or would you rather finally make peace with food? Hit me up in the comments and let me know. Would you rather start a new diet, or would you finally rather make peace with food? Hit me up. Let me know what's going on in your mind. So to answer this question myself, for most of my teenage and young adult years, I thought that dieting was the answer. And even when I didn't think I was dieting, by tracking foods, by stepping on the scale every day, by eating clean, or working out constantly, even when I thought that I wasn't dieting by doing those things, the truth is I was, okay? Because if you are chasing the goal of weight loss as a means of being healthy, somewhere along the way, you're going to get lost in the journey about what being healthy actually means, okay? And I'm going to tell you why in today's episode as well. But this very reason is exactly why diets and goals based on losing weight are just not sustainable, okay? This is exactly why they're just not sustainable. Because to diet means to restrict, right? To diet means to restrict. And when you're restricting yourself from certain foods that you've labeled as being bad, right? And I know that you've likely done that. I was the queen of labeling food as good or bad, okay? And when you've restricted yourself from those bad foods, it means that you're likely going to do anything possible to avoid those food cravings, right? That you're getting. So if you're craving chips or chocolate or cookies or pizza or even a glass of wine, when you're craving those foods, and because you've restricted them and you've labeled them as bad, when you say no to them and you don't give in to them, you're going to turn around and call that willpower, okay? It also means that you're constantly going to be starting again on Monday, right? So maybe you'll restrict all week, Monday to Friday, and like I said, you call that willpower, and then come the weekend, you're like, oh, you know what? I've been so good all week. That's it. I'm treating myself. I'm going to have a cheat day. I'm going to give in and have this extra large pizza that I've been craving all week long. And then you end up binging on those foods that you have forbidden over the entire weekend. And then what do you do on Monday? You start again on Monday, right? Is this resonating? Is this resonating with you? It could also go like this. It could also look like you burning off whatever calories you overate over the weekend by sweating it out at the gym the next day or come Monday, right? So these are all ways that we think that we're doing good by our body by using weight loss as a goal. And we think that, we're on this road to self-improvement, but what we're actually doing is we are getting ourselves stuck in the dieting mud. Okay, we're getting ourselves stuck in the dieting mud. So has anyone else done any of the things I've just listed here? Has anyone else done this at all? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much is this resonating with you? 10 being, girl, are you a freaking fly on the wall? And 1 being, I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. If this is resonating with you, hit me up with a 10 in the comments. And again, just to recap, for anyone who's just jumped on here, we're going to be talking about today how to boycott the New Year's dieting and self-improvement shenanigans. We're also going to be getting into why choosing not to diet is definitely not the same as letting yourself go. And lastly, we're going to be chatting about what it looks like to actually hit diet rock bottom, which you could very well be right now. But more importantly, I want to talk about what you can do to begin to move towards food freedom once you realize that you've hit diet rock bottom. Okay? So lots to get into today. All right? So why don't we get started? So first things first, we're going to be talking about how to boycott this new year dieting and self-improvement shenanigans, like I mentioned, right? So who here is feeling pressured, overwhelmed, stressed out by all of the dieting self-improvement shenanigans that the new year brings? Who here is feeling that way right now? Feeling like they have to do all the things as soon as January 1st hits. Just hit them running. You have to do every single thing on the list, and the biggest one being weight loss at the top. Hit me up in the comments with a hell yes or a hands up emoji if you are currently feeling this pressure, this overwhelm, this stress to do all of the things. Because I know what that feels like. I completely felt like that, like I said, for most of my teenage and young adult years, right? But here's the thing. The first step to making peace with food and leaving diets behind in 2017, in the dust in 2017, as I like to say, is to first acknowledge that the New Year's new me propaganda going on around you is really that. It's just propaganda, okay? It's just a way of breaking you down so that way you feel like you need to change. And this talk can easily suck you back into that diet mentality, right? It can easily suck you back in because you're like, oh, well, all these other people are working on improving themselves and losing weight, and I don't want to be left behind, right? So you can easily get sucked back into this, but you've got to be able to spot it for what it is. And that's why I really wanted to do this chat today, because I want you to be able to call it out and see it for what it is. And I mean, I get it. I totally get it. Dieting is extremely seductive, isn't it? It's so incredibly seductive because it shows the world that you have your shit together, right? At least that's what people think. If you are on a diet, you're eating clean, you're going to the gym all the time, you have all this structure in your life that you have your shit together, right? Especially if you succeed and you do lose the weight, right? People start applauding you, they start telling you how good you look, right? It makes you feel like you have control in your life. It makes you feel that you are the one in control of everything, right? And that's a good feeling, right? It's definitely a really good feeling. But it's a freaking sham. It's a freaking sham. Okay? It is a friggin' sham. It's a fantasy, you guys. Dieting is not sustainable. It is not sustainable, okay? So even if you lose the weight to sustain that lifestyle of restriction and constant working out and counting calories and getting on the scale, like that is not a lifestyle, okay? It's a fantasy. It's not sustainable, and weight loss is not sustainable, okay? But I know that our culture has been built up to make you feel small, which means that boycotting this New Year's diet talk can be challenging. It can be challenging, right? So where do you even get started? Where do you even get started? Before I let you know where you get started, I'm just going to hop in the comments here and see what we have going on. Awesome. So Paula jumped in the comments here on Facebook and she said, thanks to being in the Turn Up the Love Insiders group, I don't get hit with those feelings anymore. That just put like a permanent smile on my face, Paula. Thank you so much for, first of all, being here. Secondly, for sharing that, because it's true. When you surround yourself with like-minded people who are on the road and the journey to food freedom and ditching diets and throwing out the scales, that is where you realize that like there is a group of people who want the same thing as you, and then you really start to see all of this BS propaganda that I'm talking about for what it is. You're just like, oh, there we go again, right? It's almost like when you know better, you do better. It's exactly like that. So thanks for mentioning that, Paula. And if you are not a member of Turn Up the Love Insiders, then you definitely need to be, especially during this very challenging National Dieting Month. So head on over. You can search for the group by heading to Facebook and then typing in Turn Up the Love Insiders and searching that, or you can go to facebook.com/groups/Turn Up the Love Insiders. And we would love to welcome you there with open arms. Okay? But if you are kind of stuck in this mindset of, oh my God, I feel pressured, I have to start a new diet, everyone else is doing it, I don't want to be left behind, and you do not even know where to get started, here are my hints and tricks for you, okay? Hint number one. Anything that surrounds weight loss, or is going to have to do with, anything that surrounds weight loss or anything that surrounds you needing to change, okay? You needing to change by any which way, shape, or form to be accepted in this world, that has diet written all over it. Another hint, if it involves following a set of rules of any kind, ditch it. It has to do with dieting. So that means cleanses, meal plans, detoxes, gluten-free, sugar-free, carb-free, blah, 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 blah. I could go on forever. If anyone is dishing out all these rules to you of all the things that you have to do, guess what? That's a diet. There's restriction there. If you are consciously making the choice to say, I choosing not to eat this food right now because it is not serving my body, that's different. But if you're following all the rules, not because you've discovered with your body that doesn't work for you, but because someone else told you to do it, guess what? Ditch it. It's a diet. It's a diet packaged up in a pretty bow, okay? You have to do what works for you, okay? And you have to find what works for you. So find out, do that digging first before you start eliminating foods, okay? You should never have to ignore or punish your hunger, okay? Health is not built on restriction or punishment for not being perfect. It is not built around those things. That is not what health means, okay? So I hope that gives you guys some clarity around things that you can start to do or ways that you can start to see that this new year dieting, self-improvement, shenanigan, propaganda talk is in your face and start to call it out for what it is. I hope that kind of helps you to get started. Okay? So, second thing I want to talk about, why choosing not to diet is not the same as letting yourself go. So I hear this all the time. People tell me, but Sarah, if I'm not dieting, then I'm gonna gain all this weight and I'm just gonna let myself go. Not true. I don't diet. I haven't dieted in years, and I don't consider myself letting myself go. If anything, I'm probably the best version of myself because more of my time and attention, instead of it being focused on dieting and how I look all the time, it's been focused on other parts of myself, which I'm going to get into, okay? So choosing not to diet is never the same as letting yourself go. So the second anyone even starts to talk like that, you just say, hell no. You just say a big hell no, okay? Choosing not to diet is not letting yourself go. It is letting yourself be. It is letting yourself be. It is giving yourself the opportunity to experience joy and pleasure and compassion and well-being and life. It is letting you live when you choose not to diet. It is allowing you the space to live a full up life, a life full of the things that you want in your life, okay? We often forget that being healthy doesn't just include the physical body. It's not just about the physical body. Health has so many forms. We have our emotional health, we have our spiritual health, we have our mental health, and all of these components of our health are as equally as important as our physical body, okay? So if you have to sacrifice any of those things just to look physically acceptable, tell me please how that is promoting health in any way. Tell me how sacrificing those other parts of yourself and those other parts of your health is worth sacrificing just to look a certain way. Don't let the dieting industry trick you, okay? That is its favorite trick. It is its favorite trick, is to say that if you're not dieting, you're letting yourself go. So tell me, I want to know, how do you define healthy for you? Because I really want you to do things that are in alignment with you. That's why I want you to choose foods that work for you, and I want you to define what healthy looks like for you. Let me know in the comment section below. Now, when you're thinking about your definition of health, also tell me, does this include yo-yo dieting, food and weight obsession, or social isolation? Because if it does, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But if you think about it, that's what the dieting industry does, right? You're constantly on and off a diet. You're obsessing about what you're eating and what your weight is at, the number on the scale. And you're saying no to a ton of social opportunities because you want to stay on track, right? Well, guess what? These habits do not promote lifelong health, happiness, or well-being. They do not. We need to redefine what healthy living means. And that definition, it's going to vary from person to person, right? But we need to have a look at the definition of what this health has meant and what we've been fed our entire lives. Because that is what the diet industry has made us believe, right? But the thing is unless health to you means yo-yo dieting, food and weight obsession, social isolation, and so much more, then I doubt that that's what you're looking for. My guess is what you're actually looking for with health is freedom. It's freedom, right? You just want to be free in your body. You just want to live. You just want to be able to just not think about this crap. Well, by doing diets, that's not going to take you down that road, okay? It's just not. And personally, my definition, yeah, it is freedom. It's eating intuitively. It's experiencing extreme joy. It's engaging in kind, compassionate choices. That is what healthy living is to me. It's connecting with others. It's experiencing things wholeheartedly. That's what health means to me. So I'm going to read some of your guys' responses of what health means to you. So Paula said, 2018 is the year of being kinder to myself. Oh, I just love that. That was exactly what my 2017 year was, Paula. And my word for 2017 was nurture. And I definitely leaned in to gentleness and nurturing. And it was by far the greatest gift I could give myself because it was the gift that kept on giving. And I've learned so much from that. So I'm excited for you. Paula was also a hell no for not including yo-yo dieting, food and weight obsession, or social isolation into what healthy means to her, which means diets do not work for Paula. And healthy living, means to her that feeding her body with love. Oh, yes, love is the answer. Love is the answer. To give it what it needs to allow me to feel my best completely. And if you have that back and forth, flowy conversation with you and your body, you're going to find a rhythm that so works for you that is not built on this restriction, yo-yo, weight and food obsession. Okay, so well done, Paula. You're already well on your way into 2018. You're going to have ups and downs, and we're going to talk about that along the way. But it sounds like your intentions are in the right place, which I love hearing. You're so stinking smart. It's amazing. So before we wrap things up here, I just wanted to touch on what it actually looks like to hit diet rock bottom. If you haven't already realized based on what I'm talking about, I want to get a little bit more clear on what diet rock bottom even is and how you can begin to move towards food freedom instead. Okay? So if you have hit diet rock bottom, what is diet rock bottom? Diet rock bottom is a term. If you've never heard it before, basically what diet rock bottom means is that you finally come to a place where you understand that diets do not work. Restriction does not work. Once you've come to that place, it can be immensely freeing. You're just like, oh my God, I get it. Like it's like a light bulb clicks. You're like, I've been stuck in dieting for pretty much my whole life. Like I've been brainwashed by this stuff, right? But it's also a really tough and lonely place to be in. Has anyone felt that way once they realize like, oh my God, I've hit diet rock bottom, but they're like, crap, like what do I do next? Like what is the next step, right? It can be extremely lonely. Because when you've relied on diets for years and years and years, it can be scary to think about what your next step would be, okay? And even though you've hit diet rock bottom, I will say, and I don't say this to scare you, I say this just because I want to be honest with you and I want you to be honest with where you're at, it can also be easy to get sucked back in, okay? Because of this world that we are living in of constantly telling us that we're not good enough and that we constantly need to change in order to be accepted in society, right? It's $1 billion industry, you guys. Of course, they have all the tricks, okay? They have all the tricks. But remember, our world is the one that is promoting dieting as normal eating. They're the ones that are saying that you need to eat clean. They are the ones that are saying that you need to weigh yourself. They are the ones that are saying that you need to go to the gym 7 days a week and do weight training and do all these things. And they are the ones that are creating these apps that are telling you to track all your foods. They are the ones that are saying that these dieting tactics and tricks are normal. Okay? So I understand if you get sucked into it. And please know this, recovery from dieting is going to take about a year or more, okay? And you have to be willing to be patient with yourself through this transition of learning to let diets go. Because the involvement of any kind of eating disorder is just going to lengthen this process for you considerably, okay? So please, please, please give yourself time to heal. And for anyone that I've worked with, they really struggled with this because when they were in dieting and in dieting culture for years, they were like looking for that quick fix, right? And when that quick fix wouldn't come, they're like, oh my God, I'm failing at this, which is so not true. The road to healing your relationship with food in your body is going to look like this. It is not a straight and narrow by any means. It is not like this. It is not like that. It is literally like, woo! Like you are on a friggin' ride, okay? But it is so incredibly rewarding and long-lasting. But you just have to continue to be gentle. You have to continue to show up for yourself, and you have to continue to listen. Constantly be listening. And that's what's happened with food, right? We've learned how to tune out and check out. That's what we do. And because of that, that's why we have this disconnection, okay? So just to wrap that up, the first step to making progress towards food freedom is the acknowledgement that food is not the enemy. It's not out to get you. It's here to nourish, bring you good health and connection and peace. It's the industry that has tricked you. Okay, it's the industry that has promoted dieting as normal eating. So you're fighting against the norm of what everyone else is saying, basically. Okay? So on a scale of 1 to 10, I just want to check in with you guys really quick. On a scale of 1 to 10, is this making sense? Is this resonating with you? Are you starting to hear me? Are you starting to feel what I'm saying here? Hit me up with a 10 if it is hitting home and you are like, I feel you, I hear you. I know exactly what you're talking about. So to wrap things up, if everyone's good, got some 10s there. Okay, cool. Good. I'm glad. To wrap things up, here's what I want to leave you with. Self-compassion is key when we reflect back on our food choices. So instead of beating yourself up this year in 2018 for all the things that you are not doing or you should be doing, I want you to choose compassion instead with your food choices. Be gentle, be kind. Know that you are doing your best with the information that you've been given. You only know what you know, right? And like I said, the industry has tricked you, so you don't really know better. But you're learning, and you're showing up for you, right? And that is what matters most. And when healing from diet culture, know that you're going to make mistakes. And that is okay. You're probably going to make a lot of mistakes, but you will learn each and every time. And that is what matters. Okay? So please, we must approach this year, like what Paula said, being kinder to yourself. So with compassion and understanding, that is all part of this process. And if there's anything I want you to take away from today's episode, it's that choosing compassion over restriction, over control, over manipulation is always going to take you that much further. Okay? So if you are sick of falling into all of these diet industry tricks and shams, and you are ready to ditch diets in 2018, if you are ready to ditch diets in 2018 and make peace with food, finally, I created this very quick and easy quiz. And what the quiz is designed to do is it helps you to actually determine where you're currently at on this journey. So maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you've just hit diet rock bottom and you're like, Sarah, this is the first time I'm even hearing about this concept. Fill me in. Then I'm going to kind of tell you what your next step would be. Maybe you've started along on this journey a little bit and like the mindset shifts are starting to happen like Paula. So it all depends where you're at. So I've created this quiz to kind of fill you in on where you're at and then give you sort of a next step of what you need to do to begin to move forward. Okay? And it's super easy. It will take you less than 2 minutes to complete. It's all multiple choice. All you have to do is just select the answer that sounds the most like you. Okay, and I'm going to be putting the link in the comments on Facebook, and then on Instagram, if you're watching the replay of this, I'm going to be adding it to the link in my bio after I complete this episode. Okay, so you can grab that. I'm going to be putting it in Facebook as well, so you can do the quiz. So check back here for the replay notes, and you'll be getting that there. Okay, so that will help you to kind of figure out, okay, where do I go next on this journey, right? But if you like have already been kind of exploring this journey for a little while and you absolutely know that you are ready to do a detox from diets, literally just be like, peace out diets, I'm done with this, ready to get moving towards food freedom, but you literally have no idea where to begin. You're just like, I've been doing this, but it's not working, or something's not sticking, or you're getting stuck in the mud with your old limiting beliefs, and you're struggling with food and you feel like you're at war with food. then I have an amazing 2-week introductory program called Reconnect with Food. It's a self-study program, so you just do it on your own. It's 2 weeks, and it is amazing, and I feel like it's the perfect way to get started this year. And really, it was designed to help you to dive in and uncover the patterns behind why you've been self-soothing with food in the first place. Because diets are a Band-Aid, and I'm not about the Band-Aids. I'm about ripping off the Band-Aids and getting to the root of what's going on. Okay, so in Reconnect with Food, you'll actually learn how to interpret food cravings, and you'll begin to listen to your own intuition when it comes to what to eat and when to eat and how much to eat. So it's just going to give you a lot of clarity there. Okay, so if that sounds like something you could get down with, I'm going to leave you the link in the comment section as well. If you're watching on Instagram, the link is already provided in my bio for Reconnect with Food, my 2-week intro program. And if you're watching on Facebook, I'm going to get that up right away. Okay, you guys? But that's all I have for you today. I so hope that that was helpful. I hope that you're able to navigate through all this dieting BS this month. Please reach out to me if you're feeling troubled or stuck, or you are just feeling at loss about what to do next. I would be more than happy to help you. And if you're looking for a group of women to support you during National Dieting Month, please, like I said, head on over to Turn Up the Love Insiders on Facebook. We would love to welcome you with open arms and build sisterhood with you. Okay? So anyways, that's it from me for this week, guys. I hope to see you guys again next week on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next live episode. We're going to be talking all about detoxing from diets all month long. So stay tuned, and I hope you'll join me next week. Thanks so much, and we'll see you really soon. Bye for now.